Thank you. And fortunately, there's no one with a drill in the background of it. When I was making those films, wherever I went, there was always someone drilling or using a leaf blower to add to the local atmosphere. Anyway, I'll read you a short passage. The lessons began the next morning, light streaming in through the open windows. Edda had the children clapping in time to music and working on stretching exercises to make their muscles more supple for dancing. And these children, she's dancing with the young refugees who've come to stay in her area. She taught them how to play a role, using their faces and bodies to pretend they were something they were not. But most of the time, she tried to make this part of the day feel like fun, allowing the children to forget their troubles for a while. Angie helped by winding the gramophone player to keep the music going. At one point, Edda thought she heard the hidden paratrooper in her house tapping his feet to keep time. She would have to warn him not to do that. Edda was teaching her third class of the day when they arrived. A large truck thundering up the road, skidding to a halt, German soldiers jumping out, shouting like they were always shouting, "Wo ist der Engländer?" Where is the Englishman? Edda felt an overwhelming surge of panic. The enemy had come looking for the British paratrooper. What if they found him? What would they do? She knew all too well the punishment for hiding a British paratrooper would be brutal. Angie had frozen on hearing the Germans arrive, no longer operating the gramophone player, afraid of what would come next. "Keep winding," Edda whispered, encouraging her friend, coming back to the moment, knowing that she too had to stand up to the Germans now or everything would be lost. "And keep dancing, all of you," she said to the children. The music returned and the children began to dance tentatively as the sound of boots on the floor up the stairs grew louder. "Wo ist der Engländer?" came the shout again, and they were in the doorway. 3 Nazis. Edda could smell their sour soldier sweat. All the machine guns pointed at the children. Edda was terrified the Germans would find the pilot too. Scared for the children, she turned to them. "Sit on the floor, all of you," she instructed the children. The children sat, many now crying in fear. Edda stood in front of her tiny cowering dancers while attempting to look outraged, facing the soldiers and their guns as if she was a character in a dance, trying to do the things she had encouraged the children to do, to play a role, a hero challenging a villain, to pretend she was brave and strong. She hoped that the children would look small on the floor, small and vulnerable, so the soldiers might feel ashamed and leave. The seconds ticked by. None of the 3 soldiers spoke, nor did they step into the room. And then, after glancing at each other furtively, they lowered their guns. One even attempted to smile at the children. "Entschuldigung," one of the soldiers said. "Excuse us." And then they were gone. Edda sat down on the floor among the children. Her legs felt like jelly now. The danger had passed. How had she found the courage to stand up to the enemy like that? She stared at her feet, stupefied, until she realized that one of the little dancers she'd been teaching had stood up, come over, and was stroking her hair. She had to work hard not to burst into tears in front of the other children.